She's the strongest woman in the world and the third and final statue of my Femme Fatale reviews. Now, if you missed the previous two, which are Cammy and Jury, go ahead and check those out. I'll leave the link at the end of the video. But for now, let's get to Chun Li. I said Chun Li, not Chong Li. Pay attention.
Don't tell me that's all you've got. If it is, you better quit.
Before I start the statue review for this one, I just wanted to point out that this one actually came with an art print. Now, I double checked, and unfortunately, Cammy and Jury do not come with an art print. So I kind of don't understand why this one does, but the other ones don't. But regardless, I can't do anything about it. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm just happy I got an art print for this one. All right, so here's an art print. Pretty badass, pretty cool looking. Definitely appreciate it, definitely like it. Okay, there it is. There it is. Okay. And it definitely does have a lot of vibrant colors, lots of blues, lots of whites, you know, definitely mixed up in there, showing the energy effect and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, very nice art print, very nice addition to the statue. So the base here is very identical to the previous statues. Obviously it is a diorama, so they're meant to be put together. So it makes sense that they're going to be looking very similar. Just like the other ones, the base here is that concrete / construction site. But the emphasis on Chun Li's base here is definitely on the I-beams, or more specifically, the bent I-beams. The I-beams in this base are definitely more pronounced, very large, very detailed, and they are surrounded by similar elements as we see in the other statues. What I mean by that is that we obviously see the concrete all damaged, mangled, and also the broken fencing as well, damaged and mangled. There is definitely a lot of texture work here, especially in the grading, the fence grading. Also, unlike the other two statues, this is the only one that has this, I don't know, piping right here on the sides. It's not something super spectacular, but obviously it's something that's there, something that's different, and something very unique to this statue versus the other statues. Now, the pose for Chun Li here is very dynamic. She's obviously on this rebar, leaping forward, lunging forward, and preparing to do one of her super moves, which is a fireball. The energy is being gathered in both hands, and she's preparing to thrust it forward. So I can appreciate this pose because it is a very dynamic action pose. The anatomy on Chun Li is spot on. Chun Li is known for her kicks, and that's why she has very massive muscular legs, which I feel they captured very well in this statue. There is definitely a ton of details within Chun Li herself. We can start from the bottom up as usual. So obviously with her boots, we can see based on the texture and the coloring, they are white leather. And one small detail I neglected to mention in the previous statues, and also this one, is that they are all clean. Yes, the diorama does show them in battle, but they are not battle damaged. So that gives me the implication that they are just beginning the battle. And the texture work goes throughout her outfit. So her dress here that she's wearing, yes, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but there is definitely detail here to show that fabric material right here in the front of her sash that's wrapped around her. It's very, very fine, but you have to take a look at it up close, and I'll definitely try to capture it for you. But we can see patterns of what looks like a dragon to my bare eye at this moment, but there is definitely some kind of pattern there. Now, Chun Li definitely has tons of different paint applications. Everything from top to bottom has different applications of different colors. Her boots aren't just a solid white. The dress, yes, it is blue and yellow, but within the blues, we can see definitely shadings of, you know, darker blues, lighter blues, a little bit of dark blacks put in there, speckles of that here and there. You know, to give it that more sense of realism, and especially all the highlights and definitions on her legs. It's not just that one color, like I mentioned before. We do see different paint applications to definitely emphasize that muscle texture, those striations, the muscle tones, the definition, etc., etc. Now, parts of her outfit are more flexible than others to prevent breakability. For example, her dress right here in the back, a little bit flexible. Okay, right here, and these little. And the strands right here in her buns flaying upwards, also a little bit flexible. And I really appreciate that because I hate it when statues are just solid polystone with those very small details and they're easily broken. So I can appreciate that attention to detail. And here's one of Chun Li's signature accessories, the spike bracelets. Now, her spike bracelets have always been a little bit oversized, and they've done it here as well. But we've always known her to have those oversized bracelets, so it definitely works here. And going back to the energy effect, in my opinion, this is definitely the highlight of this statue. The reason for that is because unlike the Jury and the Cammy, each of those had one energy effect accessory. This one, obviously we have two. And it definitely complements the pose. As I mentioned before, she's lunging forward, getting to engage in battle. And the materials used to make these energy effects, I would assume, are a semi-clear resin. And the paint is done very well on these resin pieces because right here at the palms of her hand where the energy is most gathered, it's a white. So obviously with that white, we can understand that that energy is forming. That's where it's most intense. And as it comes out, yes, we do see lighter shades of not quite blue, but it's more like of a blue greenish color. And as it goes further away, it becomes lighter and lighter to the almost clear tips, but not quite clear. And her portrait here is very intense, but also very focused, which obviously she has to be because the diorama has her and Cammy engaging in battle with Juri. And depending on how you position her on the diorama, she's either taking point in the attack or as a backup in the attack for Cammy. But just like multiple color applications throughout the statue, we also see that in the portrait. And even though it is a very small scale statue and very small portrait, there's definitely a lot of details in her makeup, her eyes, you know, her eyeliner, her eyeshadow, things of that nature. We can also see the texture work done in her hair, you know, being pulled back with all the strands going into her buns. And she has her little bangs flaying right here in the front as well. Buns also have multiple colors here. Yes, the buns are supposed to be white, but in order to break that up to give it more realism, we do have small shadows of light grays, kind of very light blues, different color tones in there. But just like the previous statue reviews, I have no complaints about this one other than wishing it was a larger scale. But could you imagine this entire line being either a quarter or a 1/3 scale? Yes, it would look badass, it would look awesome, I would definitely love it, but man, it would be freaking huge. But in closing, guys, I just want to let you know that in my next video, I'm actually going to be pulling all the box art for all 3 statues just so that you get a glimpse of them, because yes, I didn't mention it before, but all the boxes definitely have artwork inside the boxes. And we'll be taking a look at those real quickly. In addition to that, I'm gonna be having all 3 of them together so you can see how the entire diorama looks. So I definitely hope you can tune in next week and see what that diorama actually looks like. But as always, leave your comments down below. If you like this video, definitely give me that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, definitely do so. It doesn't cost you a dime, but helps me out tremendously. But until next time, collect what makes you happy.
Watch out!